when we got back to the end of the Dalton Highway, and we stopped and took some pictures there at the sign, I cried. I had really been stressed, and then I yelled at the sign. I was, just.
You said some
potentially
unchristian things.
Yeah, just I won, I beat you, and just announcing that I got to conquer my fear. And it was in that moment.
Oh man!
In that moment there, that time that I kind of felt God saying, "Hold on to this."
Wow.
Because you're going to need this feeling, because I want you to do this change in life.
Wow.
Hi, I'm Caroline Howard, a biblical counselor and certified life breakthrough coach.
And I'm Chris Oneth, marriage and family therapist and executive director of Downey Counseling Associates.
Welcome to Our Next Question, where we attempt to answer the questions of life through conversations in psychology and Christianity.
Remember, this is a place of discovery and definitely not the final answer. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome to another episode of Our Next Question.
We came back.
You came back. You came back, so I had to come back.
Is that how it goes?
I guess.
And then Caleb's like, well, you're both here, so I guess I'm coming back.
If you're not coming back, I'm not coming back.
You're not here, I'm not here.
And we know Victor's outside somewhere.
That's right. He's ever lurking.
I keep forgetting to ask Victor about that. Like, do you know you're mentioned on almost every show?
I don't know about that.
Well, we don't have Victor here today, but we do have someone else here sitting on the couch next to me.
I would like to say it is a special guest.
Isn't every guest special?
I know, right? If you're on the show and you're not a special guest, man, that's cause for concern.
We only allow special people on the show.
I think that's called an intervention, isn't it?
This is why we have this guy right here.
So Chris said he couldn't get you in for a session. So he's like, if I tell him he's a guest on the show, we'll just make it into a session. I was like, word, let's do it.
What does that mean? I don't get billed? So
we make no promises there.
But we will publish it to the world. So.
There you go. Absolutely. So we have Steve Rager.
Hi.
Whom I have known since high school. And if you're a fan of Downey Park, you might also know him as Reeve Stager. You see what I did there? You see? Anyway.
You're so clever.
If you go back and listen to every episode we've ever recorded and you hear him say that, this is who he was talking about.
There you go.
I think it's happened once, so...
Hey,
don't tell people that. We love to go back and listen.
It's happened in at least 17 different episodes. Can you find them all?
Easter eggs, all of them. There you go. Well, welcome, Steve.
Hi.
And this was actually a conversation, or you texted me something.
You
texted me an idea.
I was listening to one of your previous podcasts about conversation.
Yes.
And well, what I texted you about was about how guys seem to connect better.
Yes.
And have conversation when there's activities. And then you said, hey, why don't you come and talk about this other unrelated thing instead?
A way to change the subject. Francis. No, yes, you're right. And I thought it'd be great having you on the show. You're a dear friend. We've been friends since high school. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting how friendships form, because in high school, we weren't like hanging out every day. Right. In fact, it was weird. Every time I came around the corner, you seemed to hide. Anyway.
I was afraid of your coolness because you had the great hair.
Oh, that's it.
Good cover.
And he was not afraid to talk to girls, even though there might have been cooties involved. So
he's not afraid to talk to anybody.
He's lost the hair, and he's more approachable.
Sometimes it's inanimate objects, and we have to be like, Chris, you don't need to talk to everything.
So we were friends in high school group way back when at the same church, and we've kept in touch here and there.
Century.
In the previous century. And once I got a motorcycle, Steve started talking to me again.
Yeah.
That was about 3 years ago. And so we've been chumming around ever since. We are crash partners on the motorcycle. Yep. So we compare how many times he did much better on sand than I did.
And then small world, I actually know his wife from when I was in junior high, younger
Wow.
years.
Yeah. That is a small world.
I know, it's a small world.
Okay,
can I ask you guys a funny question?
We'll see.
So here's the thing. We all know AI is a trend. Eventually we'll do an episode on it, not yet. So I was like, hey, AI, give me some funny off the wall questions.
Oh boy.
I can
It's a danger zone.
For my podcast.
We're already off the wall.
I know. So I wanted to stick with it. So here's the one we're going with today.
Okay.
What minor inconvenience would you eliminate forever if you had the power?
Oh, geez.
No, I can go first if y'all need some time to think.
I do. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Going to the bathroom.
Wow.
That is
She
a
took
minor.
mine.
That is my minor.
That's a bigger thing than I thought.
It
Oh,
could be-
boy.
and I think that might be more of a woman thing, you know? It'd be
sure.
nice when you're pregnant to not have to go to the bathroom all the time. As
Oh.
you get older, not to have
Fair
to go to the
enough.
bathroom. There's just,
Chris shared about his aisle seat on the plane.
That's true.
you know.
yeah. Wouldn't
That's
it be
true.
nice to be able to sit wherever you wanted to on the plane because you didn't have to
Unimpinged.
go to the bathroom?
That's true.
So there's mine. I'm sticking
Or
with
I could
it.
just wear a diaper.
Ew, no. No, I couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that.
Okay, yeah, I know, right? Okay,
We won't-
you may
I
one
won't say
day have
anything else. I
to. You may
just
one day
won't.
have to, girl.
But by the time I would have to
I'm
wear
not
a
gonna
diaper,
We all
I
did
won't
at
have
one
any
point.
control over it, and it won't matter.
This could be in a whole nother topic. Oh,
Oh,
my gosh.
All right,
Now-
Caleb, do you have something?
What came to mind for me is like, for some reason, I don't know, awkward social situations like when I'm walking behind somebody, but they're walking slower than me, but I don't want to like
Just a little bit.
pass them. Or like when I'm in the grocery store and there's someone who's like blocking the aisle that I'm planning to go down. So I just walk around the aisle and come back to it later
Yeah.
when they're not there.
Oh.
I don't know. Things like that. Yeah.
Okay,
The
fair
awkward,
enough.
like coming up to someone at the same time when it's inconvenient. Yeah. I don't know.
Do four-way stops irritate? Like, is that awkward for you? Like when multiple people pull up at once?
Not as much,
Okay.
but slightly. Yeah.
Okay.
Golly, now you're bringing up everything you're bringing up related to things is having me think of 10 other things that I'd like to get rid of. You know, when people stop at the four-way stop and
Yes.
and people aren't really following traffic rules,
Yes.
but they're trying to be polite.
I get so mad.
And you know what? So do I. That's something we have in common because
Ask
it's like
my children.
just go by the rules.
My son, my 14-year-old
Nobody
son
knows the rules.
now tells
That's
me,
exactly
I know they
it.
don't. No, my 14-year-old does. And he goes, Mom, I finally get the four-way stop. You've taught me well. I'm like, thank you. Thank you for not being a menace to society. When you drive, you will know how to do a four-way stop.
And I don't, but it's funny because in people's minds, they're trying to be polite.
It's
but
not the time to be polite. It's the time to follow. Don't get me
And you're a helper. You're a helper, and
I
you
want
are.
to help you follow the traffic laws.
Oh, see, that's the other. Now you're helping is combating
Yes.
your rules.
Four-way stops and roundabouts. I just
Oh,
want
my
to get
gosh.
out and tell people.
I think you're a different person behind the wheel, Caroline.
I could be.
Is it more frustrating if they're trying to help and letting you go ahead out of turn, or when they say, "I'm going ahead of you out of turn"? You know what I'm
Neither
saying?
one. They're both wrong.
They're both. Well, I agree. They're both wrong.
There you go. Okay. Steve,
Okay,
what do you think?
yeah, I want Steve to go
Steve
next
was
so you can
born at
come up with
35 years old, by
10
the way.
more
He was
things.
born a grumpy old man. Yes. So, and we talked about this morning at Bible study, so
Yeah.
he'll cop to it.
Yeah. Okay. So, inconvenience that I would like to get rid of, and it kind of actually is going away, but I hate having to go and put gas in my car or my motorcycle.
Oh, yeah.
And I hate it. It's just so frustrating because it always seems to be I'm late to go someplace.
Oh, sure.
And now I gotta. So.
And then that menacing light, and you're like, can I push it?
Yeah.
That's why I bought an electric car. Now I don't have to do that.
Nice, yeah,
It's
see?
fabulous.
But you have
What
to
is
plug
it?
it in. You just plug it in at home, right?
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
pull it.
Since you don't go anywhere 5 miles outside of your living zone.
I've been to Turlock twice today. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're
Oh.
getting out. You're doing it.
Stick
You're making
dude.
it happen.
I'm going to beat you down.
Wow. Everybody heard it.
I told
It's a
you.
threat.
I
Everybody
need
heard
more
it.
sleep.
You know, honestly, I think Caroline's answer would be Chris would be the minor inconvenience that
Are
she
you
would get rid
kidding
of.
me?
Thank you. I want to go back and change it.
Wow.
You are not a.
I was just
That's
thinking.
not a
what-
minor
I
inconvenience.
was
That's
just
major.
thinking
We can't
how
do major inconveniences. Yeah.
major.
We were doing minor.
That's funny. I was just thinking about what an amazing co-host you are and how.
Wow.
I totally appreciate you. No, really,
Well,
you're
I
a great
appreciate you too.
conversationalist and everything else.
Thank
So
you.
anyway,
You know I feel the same way about you.
bad.
I don't feel bad.
Okay.
But thanks for trying to make
Okay,
me
so for
feel
my
bad.
minor inconvenience, I think traffic. Traffic
Really?
is just lame. I
don't
wouldn't
mind
eliminate driving because I like
Yeah.
driving. I definitely wouldn't
traffic
eliminate
part.
being on my motorcycle. But the traffic, man, and I don't know. God bless people who have to commute or they spend hours in traffic, man. The most I spend in traffic is 15 minutes and I already can't stand it.
And
So-
then you just
so-
harassed me about not going 5 minutes outside of my house. And
I
then
didn't
you're like,
harass
oh.
you. I was making the joke.
I think Chris would just Thanos snap and get rid of half the drivers on the roads.
Okay. You see, that's funny because when I saw this question, I thought traffic, but then I'm like, but traffic is what you make of it.
Wow.
Okay.
Like you could be listening to a great podcast.
Exactly.
That is true.
Like our next question.
That's true. And then you're like, please, I don't want to get there too soon.
Right? I mean, because I got stuck in, I had dropped some of my kids off at the Oakland airport at 4:00.
Did they know they were being
on
dropped
Tuesday. That's a whole nother topic.
Jeez.
I'm sorry. It was actually 5:00 on a Tuesday. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be in traffic. And I think I just mentally prepared for it.
Oh, that's good.
And
That's a
then
good
I was
idea.
like, just lined up my podcast, had my music ready.
Oh, cool.
And so it wasn't bad.
That's true. It's what
So
you
I
make
think
of
it's
it.
just what you make of it.
But if you had to do that every day, eventually
I don't
it'd
think I
get
could do it every day.
a grind.
I
you
think
know?
I would run over people.
So my traffic is from like most traffic. Well, my most traffic is from my house to my office.
Which office? Which
Both.
office has more traffic? Modesto or
Different
Turlock?
traffic. Modesto has Modesto is shorter to get there, but it has like dual lanes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Here you ride some country roads and you have to get behind some of the big rigs that are slow and stuff.
Or a
And so-
tractor. I had to pull around a tractor today.
Ooh,
That was fun.
dog. Yeah, we all know what that's like around here. Definitely.
Little tractors.
Okay, well,
So
let's-
today's question
Yes.
is we're going back to what's your story?
Yes.
Right? We did
another
a whole
episode of What's Your Story.
It is. We did a whole series on I don't even know, last year.
We're still doing the series.
We're still, so, we said we were going to bring people in. And so that's what we're doing today.
We've made good on our threat.
We brought a special visitor, special guest,
Yes.
special person.
Special guest.
Special. However you want
Makes
to
me so
say it.
happy.
So Steve's got an
Steve.
interesting take. He's got an interesting story. He's a clever guy. I repeat many of his jokes. I steal them as my own.
If Chris has ever said something funny and made you laugh, it came from me first.
No doubt. No doubt.
I love it. Love it.
And so Steve has a story, man. And he's got a take on some stuff. So
Steve, what's your story?
Story.
Yeah.
Take it away.
So my story, Chris asked me to talk about this, is about kind of changing gears midlife / late in life. And so I am 50 years old.
whoops.
And, I've decided, well, now's a really good time to make a complete drastic career change and education and all of that. And I kind of feel like to help it make sense, I need to give a little bit of backstory about my vocation and education history, who I am leading up to this point. Otherwise, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'll just say I graduated from high school barely in 1990.
Right on.
And then from there, I went to, MJC, the local community college, with no goal or purpose. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I shouldn't say I went to the college. I should say I registered for classes. And
One of those.
after about 3 semesters, the school and I came to agreement that I should not return.
Well, let me ask you something,
Wow.
Steve. So, what was it about barely graduating high school? Why? Why did you barely graduate high school and then carry on that pattern into the illustrious MJC?
Okay. Barely graduating high school, it's like I did not like school. I
Okay.
still don't like school.
Okay.
And I'm going to school now, but I still don't like it. And in many areas of my life, I have and still do lack discipline. So the discipline to make myself do
I
the
see.
thing that I don't want to do. And you may find this a shock, but in class, a lot of times I didn't really want to pay attention. I wanted to make jokes with my neighbor. And if you look back at, say, back when I was in elementary school, back when teachers could actually write physical notes on your
Yes,
report
yes.
cards,
Yeah.
it would usually say things like, Stephen is a bright young man who needs to spend less time visiting with his neighbors and more time, paying attention to the classroom, or that kind of thing.
You were the distraction. Do you remember some of the? Are you friends with some of those people now that you went to? Because you went to Downey, right?
Downey, as far as high school?
Yeah.
Do I remember? What do you mean?
I don't know.
Well,
Like I was always talking to my buddy Joe, and he was like, "I'm trying to pay attention."
no, it was just whoever happened to be sitting next to
Oh,
me.
there you go.
He didn't need to know their names.
Didn't you go to school with Mark Stewart?
Yes, he was a couple years, a couple years older than I am.
Okay,
And
there you go.
Mark is a very bright and
Yeah, totally.
and studious person, so we would not have been in the same classes.
There you go.
Even if we were the same grade.
Right, I remember that. Okay.
Yes.
Who
Okay.
were some of your contemporaries that you went to school with? Like
Well,
same grade?
Interesting thing. I mean, for example, I have no interest in going to a high school reunion because I didn't really have any close friends that were my grade at my school.
Aha, got it.
So being involved in the youth group at church, I
Yes.
had most of my friends were maybe my grade at other schools.
Right, okay.
Or other grades at my school.
Got
so,
it. Makes
you know,
sense. Totally.
So I don't remember.
Okay, fair enough.
There's not a lot that, I mean, my buddy, our buddy Brian, who lives down in Escondido, San
Yes.
Diego, he and I still get together whenever we can. You more recently, and a few others.
Got
a few
it.
others, but
Cool. But essentially, you were not disciplined, and that
Mm-hmm.
also says to me, like, and I can relate a little bit because I didn't do work either, but mine was about avoidance. It's like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
if it was not something that I thought was rad or cool, or
Yeah.
or entertaining, then I was like, I don't want to do that.
right.
So anyway,
Yeah, I would say that. So, and then at MJC, I was there with no purpose, and they don't.
floating.
You don't have to go. I don't know if you know this about
Yeah.
college, but
You don't have to be
if
there.
you pay for classes, they don't make you show up.
Right.
And
And you
Right.
can get up and go to the bathroom without raising your hand.
Yeah.
I remember that being
And-
the coolest thing about college.
get up and go
There's
to the
that bathroom
and
again.
not come back. Yeah. So
Please don't
theme today.
return.
yeah.
Okay.
So in retrospect, with more maturity, I can see, why I had a lot of F's, failing grades, because I didn't drop classes. I just quit going. And in retrospect, I can see, well, I didn't want to admit to myself that I wasn't going to the class,
I see.
or I didn't want to admit to my parents.
I totally get that. I
you know.
totally
And
understand
So I'm
that.
still registered. I'm still in the class. I'm just
Okay.
not
Yeah.
Going.
going. Anyway, so when
So you're
I
paying for it.
yeah, but I
Literally,
mean
yeah.
MJC back in those days was almost nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yeah.
so my GPA at that point was a 1.0. So
So you were doing something because you got the one.
yeah, I got a couple of C's in classes I actually went to.
Okay.
Oh,
there
right.
You go.
So
Okay.
So so the school and I decided I shouldn't return. So I went out and started working, and I ended up working doing janitorial custodial work at our church.
Yes.
And it was cool for a while. And then I was dating the woman who eventually would become my wife. And you may relate with this, Chris. It's like all of a sudden I got motivated to,
Yes.
I need to be doing something differently.
Yes.
And so I was praying a lot, and I got very specific about work and what I wanted for work.
Well, it's amazing when you meet a girl that for myself, I met someone who was smarter than me. And
Most
so I was like,
people are.
uh-oh. And this is a challenge here, a good challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than, and by God's grace, man, rather than cower away, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I gotta step up my A game here.
Yes.
So,
I agree.
if she had read the Bible, which she had, I better read the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of, God used that.
Yeah.
We think
So-
it's interesting because we're motivated by what we value.
Sure.
And so now you value this relationship, you
Yeah.
value her.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I'm motivated to do something more for this person.
Yes.
Yeah. And I know there's a lot of talk of women being undervalued, but it's like women have the power in their relationship. You can get your man to do just about anything, I
I
think.
think that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To make her smile is like
If he's
the highlight
but
of my
if
day.
he honors
Yes.
her,
Yeah.
right?
Thank you for adding that.
Well,
Yes,
and I
yeah.
would say if he doesn't honor himself,
Right.
if he's not honoring himself, not honoring his wife,
Mm-hmm.
then he's not going to even put forth the effort to
Right.
do himself the favor.
This is true.
Yeah.
Right? He may distract with lesser things and call that good enough. It's like eating chips
Mm.
when what is offered us is a full course meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that makes
So,
sense.
yeah.
Anyway, so I ended up getting work.
I think that's the first time you agreed with me, Stephen.
I'll try not to make a habit of it.
Okay.
I'm taking tally marks now.
I'm also being polite because this is his house.
It's my house too. You don't have to be that polite.
Nice.
Oh, oh no.
So I ended up getting work drafting, and this was mid 90s, early to mid 90s. I didn't know anything about computers, but I wanted a job where I worked with computers and would learn
Okay.
on the job and all that. And I had this very specific list of what I wanted in a job. and I didn't tell anybody I was praying about this. I was just praying about this specific list. And the job came to me.
Wow.
Everything that I was looking for. And, anyway, so then I was able to work with that for a long, long time. And, Carrie and I got married and had kids and all that. And at one point later on, I decided I needed to go back to school. So I went back to MJC. The goal was to do marriage and family therapy.
Okay.
But
what do you mean was?
Well, at the time, I changed my goal.
Okay.
Because I knew after some time, I realized it takes a master's degree, and that was a long time, especially since I had young kids. So I was doing the schoolwork very slowly. So it took me about 10 years to get through associate's degree, and I ended up with business administration, because I didn't want my kids to be deprived of dad.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I had to work full time and keep some margin because sometimes I would have to work long and all of that.
Right. People got to eat.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I did that, and in the early 2010s, when the economy came to a screeching halt, that was about the time I had finished the associate's program, and I lost my job, had to do a transition to a different type of work, and was doing field technician work. And I was, installing internet and TV services and that kind of stuff, which was a whole different world for me. And it was crazy hours, so school was not an option at that point.
Man. Okay.
And so I had quite a break. And then just about 3 years ago, I'm 22, I was able to get back into the CAD and drafting world. And as I had started this job, I was thinking, great, this is something I can do for a long, long time. I enjoy it and all that. And I had a conversation with my boss as we were driving someplace. It wasn't like a formal kind of conversation. He showed me two different paths within the company that I could experience substantial professional growth. And one was essentially towards becoming an architect. One was towards becoming an engineer. Now I could do these without actually going to school, because when you get a certain number of hours, and you have to pass a bunch of tests for either one of those. Now it takes a lot of study. Usually people go to school to do that, but I also realized I don't want to do either one of those. Engineering was straight out because math is my Achilles heel.
Yeah, right.
So there's no math that if I can avoid it.
No cool films in math.
What?
There's no cool films in math.
No cool films. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
I'm gonna find one.
You're distracted.
I'm gonna make you like math.
Okay.
Find one.
You like math?
I don't mind it. I have a numbers brain though, so.
Oh,
no.
interesting.
See, I do not. I have a words brain. I love writing.
Sure.
A words brain.
Sure.
So anyway, I started thinking, okay, I was being very polite, and thinking I'm not going to do either one of those. I'm just going to do this. But then I started thinking, maybe I do need to keep growing in life, and I do need to keep working towards something. If I know those are not where I want to go,
sure,
what do I want to do? And then
That's
I remembered,
a good question.
I remembered this previous goal that I'd had of marriage and family counseling and therapy. I thought, well, if I work towards that now, I'm older in life, and I can actually maybe bring some life experience into that.
Heck yeah.
I know I would probably have a hard time with a counselor who's 24 years old, because
this is what you got to do.
Yeah, but that's where I am. And so, okay. Anyway,
true.
So I started talking to Carrie and thinking about, do I want to do this? And I know you like talking about your adventures and trips and that kind of stuff. And so I went on an adventure. And now, I am not an adventurous person.
But you ride a motorcycle.
Yeah,
I thought those went hand in hand.
They do, and here's what's weird is I've even talked to Chris and our friend Brian. It's like, really, when you think about it, when I describe who I am, I shouldn't enjoy riding a motorcycle.
Exactly.
Okay.
I describe myself as very Hobbit-like.
Okay.
I love being home and comfortable and eating food and this kind of thing. So
those sound perfect to me.
Yes.
I relate to that.
Yeah, totally.
Yes. So so I had some buddies who were taking a big trip, and this trip was they're going to ride the motorcycles from here in Modesto all the way up through Oregon, Washington, Canada, Alaska, up to the Arctic Ocean, to this little place called Prudhoe Bay. And it is the most northern town in the world that you can get to by road. There are 2 other little villages you can get to that are more north, but you can only get there by boat or airplane.
Okay.
And so this was a month-long journey. It's like, now, it took us like a week to week and a half to get there, and then meandered our way back. A lot of camping, a lot of hotels, so a lot of times. So I thought,
Lots of rain, from what I understand.
so much rain. So much rain.
And by the way, our guest a few podcasts ago, Dave Conway,
Yes.
was on that trip.
He is the visionary for adventures such as these.
That's
All of a
right.
sudden, that makes sense.
Dave is our
Yeah, that
adventurous
does make
big
sense.
brother.
Yes, yes. So I decided, hey, on this journey, I'm going to spend some time in prayer, because you got a lot of time on your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you're on a ride like this, about what to do. Do I want to make this life change or not? And I think it was the first night of the trip, I shared with the guys, hey, this is what I'm praying about. I'd appreciate you guys praying with me. And
Right
and it was 5 of us, and it's like myself and 4 godly men that I trust a lot. So it really helped me a lot to have them praying for me and with me. As you know, we all had different things. We were kind of almost, spirit quest kind of thing, as the Native Americans would do. We had different things we were looking for on this.
Sure.
And so as we did this trip, one part that I was dreading of the journey is called, I just blanked on the name, the Dalton Highway. And so this town called Prudhoe Bay, Dead Horse, Alaska. To get there, once you leave Fairbanks, there's 2 days. I think I wrote 414 miles of dirt highway.
Right.
And so that's to get there, and then you've got to go through it again to come back. And so most
Yes.
people on motorcycles, you stop at this little village camp spot called Coldfoot. That's the only gas between the 2 locations. So you're taking bundles of gasoline with you, because most motorcycles don't have the range.
Now it's not just
Wow.
it's not just dirt, from what I understand. There's like gravelly stuff.
It's a substance. I think it's Creo something. I forget what it's called, but it's some type of chemical binder to keep the dirt together when it gets snowy.
Aha.
Wow.
No, so that's not a problem. But in Alaska, they say that there are 2 seasons, winter season and road construction season. And so this whole road is got massive construction on it, and they soak the whole thing down with water. And so this substance, when it gets wet, it is the most slippery thing I've ever ridden on.
Oh, wow.
Or ever been on, and they'll have this for miles and miles and miles, and you're behind a pilot vehicle going, idling basically that low of
geez.
speed. And so speed's slow enough that if I were on the motorcycle, if I were on solid ground, would be difficult to balance.
Oh, wow.
And then you're for those on the video, my hand is waving around doing this.
Yes.
And you're trying to stay in the tracks
Yes.
of the truck in front of you.
And part of being on a motorcycle in roads like that is it's like being on sand, I guess, where you should go faster.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, we're not talking about 90 miles
No.
Right.
an hour faster, but when you go faster, it helps you float above
Correct.
the instability.
This sounds lovely for someone who's not adventurous.
And this
This
is
is a
probably
long way from the Shire.
that we'll probably talk about in our other episode. But like, so I'm not adventurous, but I know that I need it.
Okay.
Aha.
Gotcha.
That's a little teaser. You're
He's coming
welcome.
back, everybody.
Anyway, so and I was texting and talking with my wife intermittently throughout the trip, and she could tell this 4 days of the Dalton Highway I was not looking forward to. I was stressed out because I've been riding motorcycles for a lot of years, but almost zero dirt experience
Okay.
and off-road experience. And the haul road, not only is it complicated, the Dalton Highway is often also called the haul road because it was originally a private road for getting materials and stuff to the oil fields.
Okay.
And so the truckers own that road. And if you are not going fast enough for them when there's not construction, they don't care. They will ride your backside and run you off the road because that is their road. So
yes, so friendly
So
locals.
fun.
yeah. So
Slippery road.
realistic. I'd say, listeners, if you're
Unstable
interested,
conditions, friendly locals.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
yeah, Google the Dalton Highway and the Hall Road and read stories about it. It was a great experience, but I was not looking for it. I was stressed out. And so then we made it 2 days up, and we had our day there at Prudhoe Bay. My buddies and I, we took a plunge in the Arctic Ocean.
Nice.
There
Wow.
was ice within view. I mean, that was an incredible experience. Some of the guys
So wait, you have 4 days on this not so fun road.
2
And
days
then
there,
you
2 days back.
Okay. So 2 days there and you have 1 day to recoup, but
Yes.
then you jump in ice cold water.
Yes.
That's great.
Well, when we first started talking about it, and I love the ocean. I love all ocean. And I said, when we get there, I want to jump in the ocean. And like, what? That's what I want to do. It's like, there's no point
Wow.
in going to it
That's
if
right.
I can't go and jump in and fully
You couldn't just stick a toe in.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
No. Any of the guys had done that, they would have been ribbed forever. I'd say you
yes.
only get half credit.
Ruthlessly. Thank
Yes,
you. Okay.
exactly.
Guy 101.
Anyway, and so I was really relieved on that. And
So you made it out there.
I made it out there. We had a great
You
time
took
there.
the dip.
Took the dip, took the plunge, stayed the night, and the next day started 2 days
again.
back. I mean, it was 2 long days. When we got back to the end of the Dalton Highway, and we stopped and took some pictures there at the sign, I cried. I had really been stressed,
Wow.
and then I yelled at the sign. I was, just
You said some
no.
potentially unchristian things.
Yeah, just I won, I beat you, and just
Wow.
announcing
Nice.
that I got to conquer my fear. And it was in that moment,
Oh man.
in that moment there, that time that I kind of felt God saying, "Hold on to this,
Wow.
because you're going to need this feeling, because I want you to do this change in life."
Wow.
And
Wow.
that was the moment that I decided that's what I'm going to be doing. And
Awesome.
That's so cool.
Awesome.
so yeah, so
So you make it back to terra firma. You make it back home, and you've decided, hey, I'm gonna make this change.
yes.
And really, the interesting part about this is, I mean, it's other than having grandkids. By the way, he's got another one
Due tomorrow.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
The plane is
So
landing.
fun.
Yeah.
Crazy. In addition, I mean, really, at this age in life, there's not too much holding us back. We don't have kids to raise.
Right.
We've got jobs to work, obviously. But you think about it's almost a full circle from, hey, before we had kids and
Yes.
before we had these tie downs, it's like,
yeah.
why not?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, the notion could be, well, you're getting older, you're 50 years old, and
My
start
favorite age.
slowing down, But seems a shame to me. Because look, you don't need to get the walker out yet.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
so when I was considering doing the Alaska journey, and I was waffling back, should I go with them? Because the group of guys, they had already planned on it. We're doing it, and I was joining them. And then our friend Justin, the motorcycle mechanic, I was talking to him, and he said, "Dude, at this point, he's like, you're almost 50. It's like you've only got so much time that you can do stuff like this." And it's like, oh yeah, okay, yes, I should do this then.
Okay.
So that was kind of a deciding factor as far as that adventure.
The reluctant adventurer.
Yeah, like the Hobbit. That's me.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, when we left on that journey, I posted on my social media a video from the Hobbit when Bilbo's running.
Going on an adventure.
Yes. And he's got the contact and say, "What are you doing?" "I'm going on an adventure." Martin Freeman is great.
awesome.
So, anyway, so then when I got back, I was slow to do anything because I get kind of stuck. I can see a whole huge thing that I need to do, and so I've learned in life, I can get overwhelmed by the big picture. And so I have to, for my term, I have to break it down into bite-sized pieces.
Okay.
What is the first thing that I need to do? And so I figured, well, I've got an associate's degree, so I need a master's, so I have to get a bachelor's first. My understanding is it really doesn't matter what you have a bachelor's in. So I think I'll go with, a bachelor's in business administration and then work on a master's after that. So then I had to figure out school. And so I ended up fortunately, since COVID, going to school online has exploded. I mean, it was already there.
Absolutely.
But even the CSU systems have a great...
well, they had to adapt or die.
Correct.
Yeah.
They had a lot of competition.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I decided to select CSU Sacramento. Online program is where I was going to go for a lot of different reasons. And I met with them and they said, oh, you have an associate's degree, but you haven't met the transfer requirements. You have to go back to community college first. So I met with a counselor at the community college and said, okay, to get the transfer requirements, you have to take blah, 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 it's like 6 classes.
Oh, man.
Part of it is because classes that I just missed as far as, I got the degree but not transfer. Part of it is because it had been so long.
Okay.
There are new requirements that have been added.
Okay.
And so I thought, well, for grants, what would I have to do to get a transfer degree in psychology? She said, well, I'm sure it'll be more. I said, well, let's just run it and find out. And it was 6 classes.
Oh.
So I said, well, that'll probably be more beneficial for me in the long run. So I decided, okay, let's work on that. That took me about a year to get through the community college and rest of the community college and my associates with transfer from Modesto Junior College, and then moved into Sac State and working on the bachelor's.
Nice. And how much longer before your bachelor's done?
It's summer right now. I'm finishing my second summer term class for this because I figure there's no reason for me to stop in the summer. I might as well keep going.
Right.
Exactly.
So I should be, if I can keep pace, graduating in May.
Wow.
Nice.
Almost there.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And that's what's going on there. And then I'm starting the process of trying to figure out where to land for a master's program.
Okay.
And so I've got a couple of different options.
Awesome.
Well, there's a lot of options. But
what have you learned along the way? Because, again, we're not young people.
No.
You've decided to make this major shift.
Yeah.
Like, along the way, what has occurred to you or maybe surprised you or oh, wow.
This isn't necessarily positive, but my tolerance for nonsense is a lot lower than it used to be. Not that it was high to start with, but
right, he was born an old man.
Yeah, but, you guys have education, so there's classes. It's like, this is stupid, check the box. This is stupid, check the box.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so there's just education is so expensive for what little you really get out of it.
Oh wow.
Okay.
I was just so I just finished up my bachelor's a year ago, so at 46.
Okay.
Finally,
congratulations.
Went back and got my bachelor's. And 2 things I realized. One was I appreciated education a lot more in my 40s than I did in my teens.
Yeah.
I feel like actually stuck maybe a little bit better.
Wow.
And I'm paying for it now.
I think there,
Oh, yay.
Well, I had to pay for mine back then too, and I wasted a lot of money.
Okay.
But yes, it did make a difference when it was like, well, now I have kids and I need the money.
Yeah. Well, it does. And it's like, I don't have time to mess around. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. And so, I'd mentioned, when MJC and I parted ways initially, my GPA was a 1.0. Since that point in time, going back to MJC, and now my cumulative GPA is a 3.46.
Nice.
Okay.
So
Nice.
Making up for it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because the motivation there changed. The meaning of it for you changed. Whereas, I'm not sure why as a young man, I'm not sure why I'm here. I'm not sure why I'm doing this. I'm just doing this because this is what's expected of me versus I am motivated because I want to get this over with and it means so much more to me.
Yes.
So did any of have you surprised yourself at all with the student that you've become?
Well, yeah, because it's weird because sometimes I think I'm doing really well. I must be pretty smart. And then sometimes it's like I'm doing a lot of work, but I don't feel like I'm really learning anything. So maybe I'm really dumb. Do
you think it's a life? I think that life wisdom plays a big part into, I guess, going to school in your later years of I know for me, it influenced my assignments, my writing. And I think that helped for me because I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I think I had like a 2 point something when I went to college back when.
That was a C.
And then
Steve's like, you're a genius.
and then I graduated on the dean's list this time, and I was like, I don't really feel like I.
Yeah.
But I think it was just the life wisdom played a big part into, like, I guess I just want to say that for anybody else who's maybe in their 30s or 40s and like, there's no way. No, there is a way. Like, you're smarter than you realize you are because you've lived more life now. And it just makes a difference somehow.
Oh, I agree with that. There's so much with doing class online is you have to write these online every class I've had, you have to write these online discussions. Usually it's about trying to relate. I do too.
Yeah.
The thing I hate most about them is that I'm a snob and I have to respond to other people's and it's like, I don't know which ones of you are morons.
Yes.
I
don't think that's a snob. I think that's just, again, being wise.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, you are a Christian.
Yes, I am.
So we can't be snobs.
We can't be judgy. Are you kidding me?
Well, but it also means I got to be careful. It's like, okay, how do I say things constructively? But
sure. Or the other thing I think about is that how I sounded at that age? Oh no. And people had grace with me.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Yay.
So, yeah. I guess as far as especially encouraging somebody else who's, not in their 20s talking about going to school. And if you're intimidated by it, one of the things I've learned for myself, and we tried to help with our kids, Carrie and I, we have 3 kids. 2 have graduated from college. The 3rd is an electrician. But like with school, it's like I said, if you show up and follow instructions, you're almost guaranteed at least a C just for that.
Wow.
Yep.
It is really, and like they would come back. It's like the teacher had to yell at the students because they didn't do this and that, or this kid, was upset that he got a D on this paper. Was like, well, you didn't do that. Usually if there's a paper, the instructor usually gives you, here's a list of everything that I want to see in it. Hey, guess what? If you put those things in it, you're generally going to do well.
Yeah.
Having taught college, there is a wide swath
of
students that I would get, the kids or the people who would be like, I am after this. I, am conscientious about what I'm doing. And then there's that feeling where it's like the kid shows up and he doesn't really want to put in the work and he wants all these kudos. And from what I understand, this repeats itself on the job site again and again and again. So interesting.
Yeah.
So actually being forced to do the work helps.
It does, yeah.
Nice.
Well, and so I guguess, that's where being an older person in college, it's like, well, I'm here. I know how to work.
There you go.
I'll do, how about if I do the work?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
And that's part of the reason that my GPA shot up so high because it's like, well, if I do the work, and then it's like, well, if I do the work, the work level between like a C and an A is, or at least a C and a B is like this much.
Yeah.
If I'm doing the work, I might as well do that much more. I'm holding my fingers about an inch apart.
Sure, thank you.
Yep.
To get a good grade instead of just a passing grade. And I'm so paranoid that at any second my brain is going to just fail.
Wow.
I have a friend who used to say I have a base model brain. I couldn't afford the performance package. And so I feel like I have to get my grade as high as possible in the beginning because I'm always sure that the last assignment or test of the semester is going to destroy me, and so I want to have enough margin to still pass the class.
Was that base level?
Smart.
Was that a Dave Conway quote?
No, Baker.
Oh, Baker.
Yeah. So
another
cool.
friend.
Yeah, another friend of ours. So yeah.
I think one thing that's so cool, I appreciate you sharing your story, is I feel like there are so many people when they get into, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, they're like, okay, I've accomplished my dreams, I have those as memories now. I kind of sit back and look at my memories, but you're like, no, it doesn't matter what age you are. You can continue to have these dreams that you want to pursue. And I think that's such a special thing and a special reminder for people to have. Like,
that's why I'm a special. That's why I'm a special guest.
Awesome.
You're special all over.
And the thing is, Chris kind of alluded to it, is like, I have more time now.
Right.
I have less energy than I used to.
Sure.
But, like I said, the community college, it took me 10 years to get through that because I was working full time and I would never take more than 2 classes at a time.
Sure.
Because I wanted to be there for my kids.
Yeah.
Totally. I've had friends or seen people who went back to school and like a kid or kids went sideways or the marriages fell apart. Now, maybe that's probably not what caused it, but in my brain, that was a contributing factor. And I thought, if I get through school and my kids aren't around me anymore, or my wife doesn't want to be around me anymore, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Who cares?
The only reason we're doing these jobs is to take care of the home that we can go to.
Yeah, I could live in a tent on the motorcycle. Well, no,
Hey.
I couldn't. I like comfort too much.
One of those air mattresses, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. I've got a cot, so
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
That's right. I've seen that sucker. It breaks down.
It does. It's pretty nice. So, I forget where I was going with it. Oh, but so we've got more time, and so when I was working before on the community college, I would take like 2 classes at a time. Now, I've done like 10 and 11 units per semester last time. This time I'm planning to do 12 units, which is full time for both semesters. And that's part of the reason I chose CSU Sacramento, because they break their semesters in half. So if you're doing
8 weeks,
if you're doing 4 classes, instead of doing 4 classes for 16 weeks, you do 2 classes for 8 weeks and then 2 classes for 8 weeks. So they're
less
a little
to
bit,
juggle in the brain.
exactly, less to schedule. I don't have to worry about having 3 exams in 1 week or something like that.
Oh,
so
man. Very cool.
that's part of the reason I selected that particular school.
Very cool.
So moving forward in life, challenging oneself, whether it's education, whether it's getting out there and learning a new skill, it's not for the young. Anyone at our age, anyone even older than Caleb excluded.
Caleb doesn't count.
That's right. He's a youngin. But
I'd say it's not only for the young.
Yes, it's not only for the young, and being able to, like I said, challenge yourself. What surprised me about going to school later in life is like what I was capable of. That I saw everything as a wall before I started to go to school, and I realized as I stepped through some of these things, it's not a wall; it's a curtain that looks like a wall. And you start pushing on things, and you realize there's an opening here. And I went through it, and that was not as hard as I thought it was going to be. That I made it out to be, and that truth like holds with so many things in life. So potentially even the Alaskan Highway.
Yeah. So
or the Dalton Highway. Sorry,
the Dalton Highway. Yeah.
Dalton.
Dalton Highway. Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah, thanks so much for sharing your story with us.
No, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Of
Absolutely.
course. And we're going to keep them around and talk about some more manly adventure stuff in our next episode. So make sure you stay tuned for that as well.
Thanks for joining us today as we continue our journey talking about life's many questions.
To stay connected with us, you can follow us at Downey Park Counseling on both Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow Caroline on Instagram at Relatable Caroline. And make sure you tune in next week for our next question.